Good afternoon, Sportingbet customers. Hello from Barcelona. Very warm Barcelona. I think it's 16 degrees today, so hence the t-shirt. And we're going to talk about, about Chelsea. Chelsea are playing Bolton, of course. And there's been lots of rumours about what's going to happen next. Funnily enough, and that may sound a novelty to some of you from the point of view of analysing the situation, I've got the impression that Chelsea's in the right hands. I know that up till the last few years we had a owner that basically wanted to react to every draw, basically. But I think he's learned. So the idea, of course, of Villas-Boas coming into the team, it's a proof that actually he saw that planning for the future is the way forward. So he finds himself in a crisis situation now. There's no doubt about it. There are players that don't want to play for the manager. There is, as I said before, 25 ideas of in the mind of 25 players of how things had to be done, and Villas-Boas has to keep fighting his corner to try to defend his idea and impose it on everybody. Now, if you do that, you're going to find enemies. You're going to find problems. Recently, I went to see Reading Burnley, and talking to both managers at the end of the game, they were actually talking about that if you want to impose the way that you want the team to play, sometimes you have to get rid of some of the people that just don't want to do it. And it's not like they don't want to play for you, literally. It's actually that they just give a little bit less, so when they tackle a little bit with less effort. If they don't believe in what the manager is trying to do, because it exposed their lack of pace or whatever, then they do react. And that's what we're seeing at the moment at Chelsea. So Villas-Boas has to keep up with his idea. I think the people at the club are, of course, assessing the situation and deciding what's best for the club. That means having a look at everything. I don't think Rafa Benitez will want to go to Chelsea for 3 months. It's my personal view. I think he will wait for an opportunity to start a project from the beginning of the season, and we'll have to see what Chelsea decides. But if I was a Chelsea fan, I will actually trust the decisions of the board, the people that are taking the decisions. I think it's been more obvious than ever in the Abramovich era that the club is in good hands. So despite the pressure of the fans, that some of them may not want Benitez, for instance, some of them may not want Villas-Boas to continue. You have to say that clubs that are strong, they just don't take the view of the fans that much or that closely to the heart. They actually analyze the situation with information that fans don't have, that the media don't have, and then take their decisions. So it will help Villas-Boas if he gets 3 points against Bolton, which I think he probably will. He will have to stick with the players that he feels that can give him everything that he needs at this moment, and good luck to him. I think he's a very good manager. Some people are saying he's too early in his career. Really? I mean, what does that mean? Pep Guardiola just had 1 year at Barcelona B before he became the Barcelona manager, and of course Villas-Boas had been at Inter, working at Chelsea, so knew the Premier League. Very solid manager with his views and the way he works, but he's fighting in a civil war, so let's see how he comes out of that one. Interesting, fascinating situation, on the other hand. Arsenal play Spurs, and Arsenal have got, they've got the third best defensive stats at home in the Premier League. Yes. But the situation is so tense in a way, and again, the fans have been so impatient, or they just feel that they have to moan. It's their moaning time. That it'll be interesting to see if actually Spurs score first and see how they react. I'm of the belief that if you're a fan of the club, you mourn perhaps at the end of the game, not so much during the game, especially when it's a club with a clear idea of what they want to do. It may be, you can argue if Arsene Wenger has run his course and they need to replace him with somebody else. I think a couple of years ago, probably last season as well, they should have looked for a number 2 that helped him. And took the team in different directions, still with the same philosophy, still with the same selection of players, but trying to be more streetwise in the way they play, more tactical perhaps. anyway, they decided to stick with what they've got, and it's going to be another test, another huge test for Arsene Wenger and his players, to see if they can beat somebody like Spurs that go from draws with Stevenage to destroy Newcastle, and it looks like still favourites to be top 3 in the Premier League, of course. Points wise, it's 10 points to Arsenal, isn't it? So it will be an interesting one. I think it'll be goals in both ends. It's only been in 10 years 1-0 draw in this one. I don't see a winner, perhaps a 2-2 result, which will benefit Spurs, of course. So let's see what else is going on in Spanish football, so we can choose 1 or 2 games. For instance, I'll be going to Espanyol Levante, but you won't want to hear about that one, even though Espanyol should get the 3 points and stay in the top 4, which will be amazing. Malaga-Zaragoza is another game that will take place on Saturday, just before the Espanyol Levante, which is the last one on Saturday. But Atletico Madrid-Barcelona would be an interesting one as well, because Atletico Madrid is the type of team that has always made things very difficult for Barcelona. Sometimes they do, sometimes they don't, actually. Sometimes they give up with Barcelona, but they've turned games around against Barcelona sides, good Barcelona sides. And here we've got an Atletico Madrid that they defend. They only conceded 1 goal in 7 games under Simeone. They defend well. They have quality up front, but they will miss Diego, which is a big miss, one of the creative players in the midfield. Barcelona, on the other hand, let's see if what they showed against Valencia is something they can keep showing. That is 2 things: that they've got the belief, the confidence to do it, and actually someone knocking the door. And that they can do it away as well. I want them seeing that away as well, because at home we knew they're good. It's away where the level drops. But in big games, when they feel there's a big game coming up, they raise the level. That shows that they do have the quality to be the best team in Spain, but also that after so many victories, they just feel a little bit less hungry than in the past. And if somebody comes from behind and they won the title more than you, like Real Madrid, well, they just go up front, even by 10 points. Everybody's saying Xavi, Pep Guardiola is unfair that it's a 10 points difference, but the league tells the story, doesn't it? This game will be a proof that Barcelona can raise the game after a week, which has been a complicated week, by the way, for those of you who want to put money on this game. Complicated in that actually there's been no games this week, so Barcelona have opened the floats, and all of a sudden we've been able to talk to some of the players. There's been commercial events taking place. Everybody's been involved in them. Xavi has done many of those, and Xavi is a bit injured. He's still not 100%. Again, in the Valencia game, we saw Barcelona that actually can play without Xavi. That means Cesc has to play more focused, Iniesta in the centre, Piqué has to come up with the ball more often, and even Messi get involved in the build-up. So that is the future of Barcelona without Xavi. A more dynamic midfield, perhaps a new version of Barcelona. So instead of worrying about Xavi, you have to worry about 4 players who will, in that central position, build up the attack. Interesting situation, and a good test for Barcelona. So let's see what they can do. I think they will win, and I think they will win just by 1 goal, but they will concede in set pieces that Atletico Madrid is strong at the moment. So perhaps a 1-2 to Barcelona. We'll see. Right, so that's it, and we'll talk more next week. Cheerio.